Hello, today we're going to be discussing the anatomy of the urinary system. Now the anatomy, gross anatomy of the system as a whole is fairly basic, consisting of just a few parts working together. We start here in the abdominal cavity, very back. If you reach back and feel the bottom of your ribs, kind of that region right through there, we have our two kidneys, right and left. Now these kidneys are connected to blood supply. So the blue here, those are the renal veins. The red there, those are the renal arteries. The kidneys play a major role in filtering out the blood, so we have to have blood coming both in and out of those kidneys. All right, from the kidneys, as we form urine, that urine is now separate from blood, so it needs its own passageway. And for these, we have our two what's called ureters, a right and a left ureter, one for each kidney, draining down from the upper abdominal cavity down here into the pelvic cavity. And these ureters then drain into the urinary bladder. So for this female, here's the bladder shown here. It is underneath the uterus, and then it is drained by the urethra. So the ureters bring the urine in to the bladder. The urethra takes the urine out. Two ureters, one urethra. In the males, the parts are the same, but there's some differences. We still have the ureters draining into the bladder, but note that we don't have a uterus over top. Instead, we have a prostate that's squeezing around that urethra as it goes through. So major differences here are the sex organs. Whereas the females have a uterus, the males have a prostate, and they're positioned differently, but also the urethra much longer in males, as it has to make it all the way through the penis as well. As a side note, in males, this urethra is shared between the urinary system and the reproductive system, whereas in females, of course, the urethra is only for the urinary system, has nothing to do with the reproductive system. So, as a recap, blood flows in to the kidneys. Urine flows out through the ureters. Both drain into the bladder. From the bladder, we then go out the urethra.